Izani sakhe mzonsundi
as I promised I'm going to bring back another women by on my left hand side, babambakam on my right hand side. It's a polygamy today I will therefore again a warm welcome to the most exciting educational show on television. We're closing the tour Strong Women program that was presented by Calvin Kamogalo Mogajane and Maro Productions. Remember, today we're closing this program. As we close this program, we invited most of women to be with us to talk about their backgrounds and all their storytellings for GBV. Maybe this show could help our people outside there to get out of the comfort zone here. When they feel comfort zone, but maybe this episode they know how to recognize themselves. Remember, there is a you in you that makes you to be you because you are you. We continue on my left hand side. But introduce it to me. On my left hand side.
Kena Queen le Khobie ke tla ke le ko Rustenburg ke mo badi wa dibuka
okay omongwe
Kena Macy Kent Motaung, HIV activist, survivor of rape, TB and cancer. At the same time, I'm the motivational speaker. I'm social media community radio station.
Okay. Thank you so much. Skatava camera. On my right hand side.
My name is Maria Macheke. I'm a businesswoman and a survivor of rape as well. And a lot is coming. That's all I can say.
Hey, I'm a youth and community activist. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a motivational speaker. I do charity work. I belong to an organization called Dimco Organization. I'm the deputy chair.
Okay. Okay, thank you so much. In drama we call it you need to project. On my left hand side. Go bolela ditaba tse ile gore di mo sensitive tse ile gore basadi ba kopana le tsona in our country. In 2004 you got raped by the taxi driver. I need people to understand, or my audience to understand, what happened, what made you to survive in this whole horrible thing that occurred to your life.
When things are happening to you, it's like TV. It happened, I think, 15 years to 16 years ago. Right? And it happened already. If it was not God and support system, I wasn't going to be where I am now. Because remember, after my rape, I got infected with HIV, and I never expected that. After HIV, whereby I think the 5th May I was supposed to start my ARVs. By that time, the ARVs they were so scarce. Then I was supposed to start 25th May 2005. Unfortunately, February, I was diagnosed with pulmonary TB, of which I never had any symptoms. I only felt like in a pain, I felt like I'm on my left side. Then I told me pulmonary TB. I took my treatment for 8 months, but it was not so easy because remember by that time the ARV and then combination of the ARVs, the TB treatment, it was a lot. I think I was drinking close to 18-20 pills per day, of which it was so stressful. But I never think of maybe suicide because I knew if it was not me, then who? Or one understand. Then the following year, I was diagnosed with cervical cancer. While I thought the things were over, then in 2007, my whole entire body. That's why I started to grow my dreads. That's why I call my dreads. I call my dreadlocks dreads of hope. So it was never easy because after being diagnosed or HIV, I had a lot of anger and denial. A lot of questions. Do I questions and next the answer at stone and that Mogajane. And come fellow, the answer at it was meant for me. If it was not for me, then it's and the most surprising thing, my viral load was way too high. And remember, if Udagnos never expected I don't any information, it came as a shock. So my CD4 count was 27 by that time, and then when I do research after that, I realized for a 27 CD4 count, nearly a terminal position whereby I was supposed to be bedridden. But unfortunately, I was not bedridden because they said my immune system was so strong. As I speak now, ginka one pill, and then get super healthy, and then and I want to be a healing remedy to the broken souls, because anger. People said, why did you not commit suicide? I never think of suicide, but I only think of suicide after I get all the shingles my whole entire body. Remember the shingles, and then the pain that I was feeling, it was unbearable. So, but through the support system that I received from my parents and my family and my relatives and most of my friends, today.
Okay, Ranyan, let's go back to that time you realized you are affected by HIV. How was the emotions when you think affected this I've never expected? How was the emotions? And then did it cause trauma to your mind now? I just have to before we can continue with some other stories.
Remember, I never expected for this HIV. So it was so hurtful. Full 7 years of anger. Remember, by that time, national stigma and discrimination, it was not easy for me to disclose and talk about my situation. But our black people, they stigmatize and discriminate. So someone met me go hospital, go treatment, and it was that time when my body. My body is my mom, because I wouldn't take someone outside my mom anything, because she's the one who by that time. So after a few days, came out to positive. So it was so heartbreaking, and I think he got that anger for full 7 years. Up until after 7 years, he decided that I cannot be in a cocoon. Why can't I forgive myself and forgive the person and move on? So I did that. Remember, you need to start by forgiving yourself. And even when they say counseling is needed, I need to start by counseling myself before someone can counsel me. You can counsel me, so they counsel them. It means you are saying nothing to me. So I need to build a foundation, and it will uplift my spirit at the same time. And then when I hold it, then get continuity. So I think the most of all, support system is very much important.
Okay, thank you so much. Your story is more painful. Your story is more painful, whereby I know most of the people at home, some of the people that are now being more emotional, actually it's a story say more painful. But when now will run the camera and you laugh, you smile. What it takes a strong woman to forgive. Really, it takes a strong woman to forgive the challenges. Remember, it said that when life gives you lemon, make lemonade.
Yes, it's true.
And it says life is hopeful for the living. So it goes again, it continues, it says a luck is when your readiness meets with opportunity. So which means Mrs. Mtawu or Miss Mtawu, you giving me something, or you giving our audience something, they can now start to stand up and say, this is the right time for it now, or grow in our mind. The emotions still or later. You were the presenter, the Strong Man Book Program. if people didn't know, you are the presenter of Strong Man Book Program. But now, paneling because of you have story to tell. I'm coming back to you. We will not die. Ask the right strong woman. nna le wena we knew each other ka moraga my interview ko Motsweding FM last year, and then we spoke of lots of things. Ke gopela o ntlhalosetse your background ya your first marriage.
Ga ke simolola ka my first marriage, I ke tsora ke simolola how I grew up.
It's fine. A thorough background of what made you to be in that first marriage. And you were still young at that time. Yes.
Ga ke simolola ke gola ne ke tsholetse go leader ga Rustenburg. Mama ka o ile a ntshola ke ngwana ke le one ko nna. So e be nna gore ga fetsa go mbeba a ba ntlogela ke na 2 months. A tsama a ro batla mosebetsi a ela roots. Ka gola yalo Calvin le gore ga ke na batsadi. My father ha ke itse gore ke na still now ke santse ke le motonana. I don't know for my father ke na. Ka gola until the age of 24. Go le thata mo phelong ba go le thata. Mara se ke ne ke se dirane ke rapela every day. I was praying every day. Gore ke se ke be ka dira ke feleletsa ile gore ke tshotse ngwana mo tseleng. Ke se ke be ka feleletsa ile gore ke lositse control mo tseleng yana. Ka feleletsa ile gore ka itshoka ko sekolong go se bonolo until be ke fitla ko matric. Ke fitla ko matric I was 18 years by that time. Ka ke godisiwa ke di grandparents tsaka. Ke godisiwa ke tatemogolo le mme wa ka le nkgolo wa ka. From there ba tlhokofetse ke bala matric. It was ka 1996. Ke mo teng mo mme wa ka e leng a tlhagelela ka teng. I was introduced to her ile la ntlha ke monna. Seo se ile sa nkutlwisa botlhoko thata ke gore gone ga nna botlhoko thata mo bophelong ba ka gore ke ipotsa gore a gona le motsadi o ka tlogelang ngwana o one a sale a mo tshotse a ba tsamaya a sa itse ngwana gagwe o ja eng o phela yang go diragala eng ka bophelo ba gagwe. And I remember ke ngwana wa mosetsana ke le ngwana wa mosetsana yana ke kopana le dilo tse dintsi tse e leng gore ke feleletse le gore I was raped at the age of 12 years. And ke rapiwa ke a member of a family mo e leng gore ne go sena gore ke tla etsang so ne ile gore ke kganya gore ke a mo lapeng e siame. And I don't have the parents gore ba ka nkemelela gore gore case ya ka e sekile. So ka nna yalo ka itshoka ka gola yalo. Mme wa ka gatla o tlile le gore ke motho o sotlegileng thata mo bophelong ba gagwe. A sotlegile
le gore ke ena a sotlegileng.
A sotlegile yena ne le motho nana go jalwa thata. I'm sorry to say that. Le le motho nana a imela thata. O tlile le gore o sotlegile ka sonna ke gore ke mo itshwarele. Ga gwa nna bonolo ga ke ga nna bonolo mara ke feletse le gore ka mo itshwarele because ke ne ke motlhoka as a mother ke motlhoka as a parent gore a ba le motho ba ka ya ke le ngwana wa mosetsana ka nako.
Okay, ganyane a Queenie, coming back to your baby after your matric, whereby you should go to school and then you go tswela pele ka university. I know gore na le qualification ya nursing. Ke batla o tlosisa the marriage gore what made you to go tsena more marriage mo lo yona from the first marriage.
Ke tsena mo lenyalong leo Calvin ke le monyane. I was 19 years by that time. O gopole ka ne ke rile ke godisitswe ke di grandparents and ba tlhokofetse. I was raised by my grandparents and then ba setse ba tlhokafetse ka nako eo. Ka bona gore go botoka gore ke feletse ke tsena mo lenyalong for me gore ke kgone go survive ka bophelo. Ke feletse le gore ke nyalana le an old man that le gore o na le motona thata mo nna. Bona pita ka ditoro tse dintsi more than 20 years if I can say. Gore fela ke kgone go kry life. Okay, ka tsena mo lenyalo leo ga la nna monate le seng because I was forced gore ke feletse ke le a housewife at an early age. Ke nne mo gae ke tlhole ke dira ditoro tse le tsa mo gae. Nda le gore le ena o simolla ang abuse a ke rana go bona ke sena batsadi ka tshwana go gore ke nne mo gae ke tlhole ke bereka ene ena seo a nna go mmereko go maine. Ai ka itshoka for about 5 years ke itshokile e be go tla gore tsatsi le lengwe ke bona gore ai botshelo bo ke botshelang bo mara ga se bone nka se ke be ka kgona I can kill a lady Jarazaka, I was 22 years old. And then Karamare, Kidire, Mar, kids in. And then on Gazetting Yalani in the door, Yalani, Rakanis, Molisim, Yan Marangais and Marga, Itoka, Yalo, Itoka. I can kill a go high bar, when you talk on your seats or something to talk. Was I the way talk? Was I the way talk among you? Holy Tata Holy, I must say, way talk. I can't afford to put Tata Holy, but I am said way talk. And then I put a horn on the door, feel it's a look for what look a file, always in short. My bad for a file, half a talk like a file. They have one number because niggas now when I learn and a good. Casona go for an give away back to Ohio, what to call it in. And a gana haki hopola hakuna opegan. Go similar from the scratch. Go similar happen clean. Go similar pale clean. Marakazadi begging and the Apollonia Zaka Hakata say Peggy Kutu and everything the furniture and stuff. Because Bahawan never did 0 money. Barahaki, I can one but that everything is in Casona could give away the high was similar. Hey, answer Kiloko High Garamara planning. Carco Vela School. I have to go back to school. I get like a nursing college. Kilos and nursing. For a fellow pillow bag of start the happy book.
Okay. Okay. Arabulega, your Facebook, Ditlagan to get out say. What were you implying? Kako published the book you will remember, we as writers, Harry, like a topic like Budi Takan to we definitely think of different storyline. So what were you implying? This book if it like the reader, the reader high bala. What
the readers what look at Bona did Tlakakan. Bosulo Habu, Bukasin, the way when I was under the book predicting the thing. And I can say what about Bosulo Bakabunan, if it was at the Kamko, even Korean Naniki Batakatin. That is why I can Tlakan to get out. Basically, Marion, if we are life here, how I grew up, Selekits are mailing a Bosilo, who don't feel of Funiki Vitella thing if it's even now for Kona Kuala published.
Mukwadi, yes, I understand for Mukwadi and Ukolet Bukaze and then yeah, Ukolet Bukaze under Sumarala Publishers.
Under Sumarala Publishers.
Bukahoya Bedi Nebijorgi. Tihulela gan Gohosadu.
Gohosadu Piki Kisan is a strong assessor in the Gozer to Walla. Hey, had you been Rafael Rosana Tatik, Rasa away from Rafael Rosana. Nakizana kids of people la hore Kitopilla sin, the Kante hands of Hoya, then Kipopanama Matata for me to expect. That is why keep Gohosadu.
Yeah, give Doris Kid, yeah. So I'm trying to speak to Anna. Yeah, he did Doris Kid, the women Barona by the face, and I believe Babokeri go high, they will agree with me. This story the more inspiring for it. But Bafetaka already challenges the whole, but they managed to forgive. Remember, we still continue by saying it takes a strong woman to forgive. If we are not forgive, remember biblically as Bishop Mativela said, you must forgive. But when we forgive, we should rebuke our people. What's the importance of rape? Rape. Remember, Banna they only rape. But that rape, level the minutes you did for that time you rape you. But you become arrested for 15 years. The question is, why Rena is banna? Renyaka safari la diloje they are useless when is we have most of the people who are activists. It becomes more problematic for our government or the law or moyona. they don't really make these people to be punished. Ke ka lebaka la eng go santse go be so. Remember, we closed this program, Strong Women Book Program, that was presented by Maro Productions and Calvin Mogajane. On my right hand side, we continue with the storytelling. We continue with the storytelling from our women. At long last, these women, they managed to succeed all the traumas still di gonno ba le bona. Rape e go tlogela ka gare ga trauma. Rape leaves you ka gare ga trauma. It affects everything. Le go tsena mo different relationships e lo re ba le tsona. When the time ki prepare my survey, or by the time ki prepare my research in different dramas that I've already played, I realized that most of the relationships batho ba bantsi ba di tsenela ba bang bo hotsa gore the women shall rape you. It becomes more problematic in a relationship. I don't know what makes those people gore ga ba gone they cause more problematic background to the people by lord ba dira those things go mo bona na. On my right hand side, re kopana le Maria Macheke. Remember, she's the one who presented chapter 7, 8, 9 for Strong Women. Hello, Maria.
Hi, Calvin.
Okay. Revolution agapele Maria Macheke. Her storyline is very painful. You can understand that those people were affected on in their lives. Hello, Maria.
Hi, Calvin.
On a energy today. You let gem.
It's really active.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maria Macheke, you are the presenter you are now presenting the Strong Men Book program.
Yes, of course.
From chapter 7 to 9.
Yes.
I don't want my audience or you presented this you were involved in this talk.
Yes.
Now you have a story to tell.
Yes.
But your story is long. I want you to cut the story short.
Yes, it's a lifetime story.
It's a lifetime story. I want you to tell me about the your profile. You were from polygamy. It happened over Bali and then it happened over I want you to tell me about them.
Okay.
Let's go back and talk to me about the polygamy one.
Okay, I am from a polygamous background. My mother was married into a polygamous marriage.
Yeah.
And my father had, apparently he had like plus minus 8 women. By the time my mother was still in that marriage. And it was really hard because my father was absent. He was never there. And he would just greet us and there is not that father-daughter, father-son relationship. So, and Mama and it was really hard as well because of Nala frustrated. We can see that she was not happy at all. And she was trying, but it was really hard. So most of the time she the frustrations die modi marena. So so it was not easy. Like it was like am I making sense?
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, it was really hard. So the firstborn sister had to take care of us. She had to grow up at an early age. She had to take care of us because of Mama was absent mentally and like it was dysfunctional. Yeah.
It happened or your parent are divorced, but more distributed to the families or okay, we're not a cousin, we're not a mama. I want you to go and tell me about this stories of distribution.
Okay, when my mother left the marriage, obviously Nasna a stable house. She left the house like ukaba nachaba because of Nosna mo ayangode. So she had to separate as siblings. I had 6 siblings. So the 4 other siblings were taken to our elder auntie, And then the firstborn, Pamuisa ko Mangwane, and I alone, I was taken to the other auntie, Omoholo, as well. Namoneke nango tengi neili mamholo ka nanele bana ba ba 2 and neile ba ba holo konna ele wa mshimanelo wa wanyana. So it was really hard as well. In that setup, I was abused emotionally, sexually, physically. And then even the father, Papa ho, Monna Mamholoaka, he was a drunkard. So there were times where ban remember he said he's uko if you can tell answer the private parts, and I will get out of the guitar. Then when I was Shimani, he was also Nalom Hulmunda, and I was 9 years and 10 years by then. And he will rape me like I was a sex slave. Whenever he feels like it, and then another chance he will do that. Because it was like always me and him. Never pelaba stay. Mamhulaka na vereka, Ramhula vereka. Ausa Helena na pelate getting gote. So Nino plan na ilen na lena. And it was really hard. It was really hard. Mama neke mona like 2 times in a year. And then half feet that day haitla. Cause bona nelba bahola ababelela rikyat. They will send me far away. Mind you, in that family, nekesa dlali. Nekesa dumelwe hore ke o bapala le bana ba bang. Neke bereka ka re ke motho mogolo ka motlong. Ntho engwe le engwe ne ira ke nna apart from cooking. So that day, ba tlo nroma khole. He ke boa ko mo kra a fitlhile ba mo fidile all those lies about me. Ba tlo molela rena ke stoutu, ke rata o dlala, ke phela ke steng go ntlong. Ko ba tlo ba nromile ko teng, ba tlo nroma ntho isile se leng hore the nearest shop ba e rekisa. But because of Nekil obedient, get go reka whatsoever evan rumileng yona. Only to find that Naili tsela ya bona ya hore ba khone botsa mama ka hore no, phela net so motho. He ke fitla ke tlo bona mama ka in a distance. She's happy. O sure I'm happy. I will be screaming inside, Mama, can't you see that I'm crying? Can't you see that I'm suffering here? I create that opportunity. Mama, I'm not happy here. This is what's happening to me. Mind you, when my cousin brother was doing all these things, Nantraitena ambialitiba on my throat, telling me, well, if ever I dare tell a soul, he will kill me. And I'm useless. That's why my mother left me. So I grew up believing that I'm useless. And then, for the fact that Mama Napila Aitla Batikasa Konomufikella, it also proved to her I'm useless in a way.
Wow.
So, that thing killed my self-esteem. It killed like my inner being. I had to suppress everything. Keep bottling up everything. I had to deal with everything by myself in that young age. So, yeah.
It comes to my attention to believe or this thing affected you emotionally so. Whereby it is sometimes change the person you look at that time.
Yes.
I need to understand the schooling part. Yeah, I need to understand the schooling part. You had your own career. Okay, as Maria Machega, I need to be a radio presenter. As Maria Machega, I need to be somebody in life. It distracted all those things.
Yes, that's true.
So what happened to deal with that inner person or the broken inner you? What happened? That soul, this soul is broken, and I just have to make sure I clear all the parts.
Okay, Dr. Mogajane, I was first start by my school life. School I was a weird child. Sorry to use that word. Because next I no dlala since le kontlung never sant to me hore ko dlala. So I thought in my mind hore playing is not good. So nekesa dlale. Ka break ke tlo namela stlharo. Mind you, I'm a girl. Ke namela stlharo ke bo hele bana ba bang ba dlala. In my mind I will be like, they are weak. Why ba dlala? I will say all those crazy things. This thing in destroyed to that extent, or I didn't understand how to approach life.
So you were you were in the cycles of anger and hatred.
Yes, that's true. And it broke me so much that I was a happy child. Na personally ne ke le motho le gore ke sweet, ke ne le di dreams change, but then when all those things started happening, including the background ya polygamy ke tlhanko yona, it just made things worse. I started looking at life in a different perspective, or no, life is really wicked, and as a young girl I need to be strong, you understand? If ba ke ba bona ba dlala ne ke bona ba le weak in a way, so I had to educate myself, I had to be strong for myself because I had no one to talk to. I had to deal with things in my own way. I had to find a way because of this thing was becoming too much to an extent that I was becoming suicidal. I felt that I'm useless because of those were the things that my cousin brother were feeding my mind, that I'm useless. So I felt maybe if I could just kill myself, then I will have peace. What's the use because I'm useless? You understand? But then it went on. I will just fast forward in the story. As I told you, it's very long. It was not easy. So after I completed my matric, it was not easy as well. Okay, let me start here. Even before I completed my matric, I started drinking. But I was brilliant. My school was always up to date. Even other students were like surprised they could pass about when I regular report. How do I do that in this world? How do we do that? Because of naturally I was brilliant, but that thing that wanted to destroy me. So I used alcohol as a scapegoat.
Yeah.
So too much. So I didn't know who to talk to by then. Because maybe if ever I talk at an early age, maybe too short in that time.
Okay, Maria, come on to your heart, whereby you managed to move on. Like, what happened, or you reach that conclusion? Okay, man, I have to face the real life. I have to come out of this information regarding how I grew up. What happened? Let me just look life in other way around. What happened? What made you to change your mindset?
First of all, I became a mother, and then looking at my child, and I was really angry at God. Why did you give me a girl child? I had that fear, but then eventually I had to grow up for her sake, if it's not for my sake. So I made a decision. There's a point in life where you're supposed to make decisions. I realized that, okay, I was born in a dysfunctional family. I grew up in this dysfunctional family. I cannot die in the same family. Hence, I'm also a mother right now. I cannot allow my kids to grow up in the same situation that I grew up in. So I had to grow up.
Definitely.
I was forced to do that because of the child I had. So yes, I had to make some difficult decisions, and it was not really easy, and I was born again. And the Spirit of the Lord will always guide you to forgive.
So that's why you named your child
Angel. She was an angel. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. We're coming back to you. We're going back to our motivational speaker. We met. Thank you so much. I'm zamming life as always.
Yeah, I can see. I'm so honored to be here. I'm so honored.
Okay. One of you are a motivational speaker, and then you worked with different organizations. But before I could go to your organization, you said to me on the phone, Calvin, our story is not over.
Not as yet.
I need the background of who are you? Who is Marimakwa? Your background.
Yes.
Before you become a motivational speaker, you can't just become a motivational speaker. It's nice story to tell.
Yes.
No, that's good.
Bona, very true. So Marima Kwakwa, Butu ke Mari Mudiba, Otwala Hamudiba. She's the only daughter among Bashima and Baba 4. I grew up, I still have got both parents, but bringing up was not so good.
Yeah.
My dad was there, but he was very absent. So, but then you remember in our time, it was not easy over mama.
Yeah.
So I'm that one where I couldn't go to school. I missed school because next not sanitary towel. I missed school because I wouldn't have a shoe. I wouldn't go to school because I had a job. So bringing up was not so good to a point that, you know, when you grow up, you start wanting to make drastic decisions. What do I do? Do I then get a boyfriend or or do I go along the poverty? There will be days when we sleep without food. Mama never go to kitchen. The only time when we ate, Koroso, I came opening and then Renja Koroso, Kaskambele, and we go to bed and we ate. And tomorrow morning you must go to school. So the sad part for me, it was when it was that time, already periods, and then I want a sanitary towel. Mama, says the periods you learn it from your friends or school. You also hear it from the mom. So you remember no malaria al-akhala never black label. So I would use that as a sanitary towel to go to school. And then I must make sure in between the breaks I go home, I change that one I put it there, and then you squash it, you put it there, you go to school. So that's why bringing up was not so good, because now and have one all absent for 3 days. It's rare for someone to ask you, why aren't you coming to school? Why are you sick? So that people can know something is wrong. When you come to school with barefoot, no one is concerned. So that's how I grew up. And then in 1994, I was assaulted, almost raped. When I share with Macy is my close friend, I don't say to her I was almost raped. I say I see myself as a rape victim because I've got scars that I can show you her. Yes, here. And
so you survived.
I survived, and it was very hard, Calvin, because you look at yourself, and along the way you must explain to your friends, to the PS my teacher, what is wrong with you. And by that time when this thing happened, matric, so I had to drop out. Because now me having to explain guy, and you see the worst part was the one that is on my face. So you have to, everybody's looking at you now, you must tell them what happened. And when you say you were raped, when I not a guy, when I know a baby, why not a so you must explain yourself. And I felt I cannot, it was too much to handle. So but then life went on. Then I went back the other year. I passed my matric, and then I wanted to do HR, and then I couldn't. My parents said, and then I thought, okay, now I need to get a job. But you see, as you get a job and you try to find yourself, who are you? Our pay is one, because in most of the time you have to do things that didn't give it to a woman. I was the only girl. I had to take off my brothers, even if my mother was there. And mama was very sickly when we were growing up. I remember when I was 12, Nana had a migraine, and and she called me and she says, anytime I can pass on, just make sure you take care of your brothers. How do I do? I mean, I'm only 12. I didn't know how to play. You couldn't have time to yourself. Try to teach yourself. Figure out who are you. Now go puberty stage. You seeing changes. No one is explaining to you unless if you go to school and they tell you, biology. When you see this is that. When you see this cycle, this is now you know. You reach your menstruation cycle and whatnot. So growing up, it was not easy. So I taught myself when I was 20 years. After school, then I said to myself, I want any girl child or boy child or in my community. So what happens is mama got the Christmas then I get one of the bonus. So mama got mutu ofang. So she would call Mobatwa Sokola and cook a festive one, every meal or so, and then she would gather people around Batvaja.
Because I was not learning the course.
Papa. So then I started developing this thing, the passion of sharing with others. I started developing the passion of, loving others at their lowest. Or you don't judge people when, smiles can be so deceiving, looks can be so deceiving, because I can come here, smile, and you think, I'm okay, but then I'm not. So I started wanting to know, Macy, but why are you so quiet? Macy, are you fine? If I see someone is not responding, I get concerned. So the love of talking to people, the love of motivating people, the love of giving. Because if you can also check, I do charitable donations, I do school donations, because I know how it feels not to have, because I know how it feels to go to school barefoot. And I also do the soup drive. I call them the service providers. I cook meal for them, I serve them, I work with them. I'm a lover of things. I love strange places. I'm a motivational speaker because I've got a story to tell you.
Yes, there's no motivational speaker who doesn't have story to tell. Listen now. I have story to tell.
I heard you, yes. I heard you.
Yeah, story to tell, but this is not all about me now.
Yeah.
It's all about the women.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm coming to my left hand side. Coming to something say lor sebuletseke ausmari. Why men? Why should we say you were raped because of your clothes? You have your own choice. Which clothes or which type of clothes do you like? Looking at the fact that women can be attractive, but does not lead you to do things to them. If when as a man you look at yourself on the mirror, then what the point of the six pack and so forth, you attract yourself. And then you go out, you'll be attracted by a woman. Then when you decide to rape, you should have raped yourself. I couldn't know what to attract. You should have raped yourself. So who's fooling whom? You fool yourself. On my left hand side. I was quick. Ubile ka gare story se lor se very painful, as I can say, and so forth. You are a writer.
Yes,
Writer, they are more bubbly than writers. The authors, they are more bubbly. I want you to tell people, go high, give them all the women advices. Get what the mentorship programs lay Manabailor, they need to become inspiration at long last.
Yes, yeah. Gona le bana ba ba tsana ba ileng gore ke ba gruma ganana. As young women gore ba feletse gore ba itshepa ba independent. But gore ba ske ba re le ga ba godile ba dependa go bathong ba bang. They have to know gore le bone bana le di dreams. Ba santse ba fulfill di dreams tsa bone ba fitlhelle go ba batlang go fitlhella go teng.
O survive ka now in your life.
I've got a small business. Ke rekisa di phahlo, di aparo, di tlhako, everything just to survive. And then le di buka gape le tsone di mpha a life for ke feletse ke phela.
You making people to believe or stop it. Stop it.
No, mama, that is why I have to own a small business for ke balance that ya di buka, because ya di buka ha ina tšhelete go di bukeng.
Gra bona le nna nka be le mbona ke faketse di matlo a mapila ke nyane. Ausmeisiken, or radio presenter.
Yes.
And as radio presenters, they are more extrovert. What happened to Ruten social media radio? Ke nyaka go utlwisa the fact ya gore o bereka ko radiong ke batla o ntlhalosetse gore o survive ka eng. What happened to gore o tsene ko radio stationeng ya social media radio? I want you to share with people go gae.
Remember, Maro shared story sa sanitary pads and all that stuff. I'm doing the same program with Adieta. Sometimes we partner there. At the same time, Kinal Foundation, Missing Down Foundation, that is doing the same programs. And Kibaraka Hapakama is Johnson's. But beside that, try in push it on radio. I'm a motivational speaker, and then I fell in love with media a long time ago while I started to grow up. For a ishkin people I get with TV or radio. So I radio as a guest, but any could massage. Then the presenter don't I want to come back for some other programs. So he's sports fanatic person, remember. So if like a announced the national team is the Safa. So Kastata guys a sports show, but the sports button. Then you know when I was a sports and I fell in love with the program whereby it's that more listeners. Then I think since 2017 get a sports button. And then December and get a special shows that gospel. Only to find that programs manager was showing community radio. She fell in love with the courage and the person I was those special programs. Which
is Kielo presenter.
Yeah, I present Sunday 12 to 2, and then in a listeners and then he get more like a towards the motor. So as I speak now, the presenter Raya in the corner, it's another 12 to 2, and then I'm enjoying it.
Wow. No, I want to you present, and then you bring that passion of mine of becoming a radio presenter one day, counting years. I need to go back to my motivational speaker on my right hand side before I come to you. Coming back to you, Ausmari Makwakwa, a motivational speaker. Can I lay question still okay? As a motivational speaker, we should have. Can I lay the question as a motivational speaker? Reading them from here. What changes does abuse bring to the person's emotions? On an abuse, it cliche depends to the person's emotions or personal emotions. Tamu.
What the emotional abuse me? Naho ya kana. Kena hana hore much as I'm experiencing right now, kena hana hore ebo tlhoko go phala ge ba weta.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to justify the abuse. But you know who to listen, so you are able to treat it. But when you are abused emotionally, for us as women, first thing you start losing your self-confidence. You start losing yourself. Automatic compare sorry, what is wrong with me? Maybe I say maybe you start questioning yourself, and the minute you start questioning yourself, that's when you actually losing yourself into yourself, because if someone has said things to you, and then now you're trying to figure out, are they right or are they wrong? That's why I encourage, when I speak to women, I say, can we please know who we are, especially when we are in Christ? More so, what is God saying about us? He says we are wonderfully and fearfully made. He said we apple of his eyes. So now, if someone comes and say you are useless, you amount to nothing, then you must go back and say, but God, you created me to be this powerful woman that I am. But then it's not easy, especially if when you're going through things, you bottle up, you don't talk to people. It's gonna be difficult for you to come back. But and you start calling, you start going to the seminars, like I do the seminars of August, and every time that is me trying to say and most of us, we get used to the pain to a point that it's okay to be in a painful marriage or relationship. We start embracing the pain, like we were born to feel pain. But now, women are there to suffer. That's why I always say, I'll be honest, not a number. When you strike me, I cry. I don't want to lie. Yes, I'm powerful woman, and I know my power, and I know when to use it. But I am not in Pogoto because right now this culture thing I'm hearing about Kelvini, never Mona Kisilepe, Olala Adimile, and then Mona, I don't know what is what sleepy, Mona Kushimi. But they say to us, Paramusadi, Ochanta Submide, Paramusadi, and Tipaya say, can you imagine which very and you say what you are bleeding you sitting because give me a story if you want. Why the same things that I said to a woman?
You're making me to say now, traditional or culturally so. Culture sometimes it becomes the foundation abuse.
Exactly.
Culture more it's because remember when they do those the or those figures, those proverbs it's over that's where it makes a man now to strike now. Okay,
yes.
Culture it's sorry, it's wrong. It's wrong. This thing
exactly.
It's wrong.
And then you know one thing, they hoga level lama bitla thing. I can't basad and basad we longer but probably like depression. I would kill you. And then men should love their wives as Christ has loved the church. And on another side, it's in us to submit naturally, so it's in us. You don't even have to force me to submit. Once you've got a mission and a vision, I'm going to submit to it. But now, we find ourselves in this relationship, marriages, we sitting there for our parents, we sitting there, but by your ring, if I come out, but you know, you are not happy, I would tell them. You are not happy, so we need to go back to the basics. The two shall become one. So if the two is not one, why are you still there? So now all I will say to you, I am not saying all I'm saying is, can God give us the wisdom to know when to let go?
Thank you so much, Marima. You thank you so much. You see, the question here is how can we prevent this? Gender-based violence? We need to change our mindset before. We need to change our mindset. The point where I have to we need to change our mindset. Those things culturally they affected our women or Musadi or which is it's wrong. It's wrong to come as you said, there's no we need to change our mindset. Men, this is the time. If ever I'm putting wrong, let them correct the audience. This is the time to grow up. Change your mindset. Coming back to you, Maria Macheke. Can I questioning whether I want you to close this thing down?
Alright.
Do you think when your mother about all distribute them family? On your family side. It is because the dependency or
I think she also didn't have a stable background because when I matured, I went ahead and asked her, why did she leave me? And then Hekensake said, I found out that she was also raped as a young girl.
Yes,
and Mama had at a young age. She was 6 years by the time Mama had so she was raised in an dysfunctional environment as well. She didn't have a proper foundation. So I found a place here where I can forgive her, knowing her. You understand? So that led me to understand her. Usually, if you do not have a stable foundation, then the circumstances will be like a generational curse. Should I say that? Yeah. So it depends on more a certain person in the family to decide that I'm going to break this curse. And yeah, I'm not sure if I've answered the question.
You've covered my question. Actually, you've covered my question.
All right.
Thank you so much, my women. ke leboga kudu for allowing me gore ke le invited to this closing year Strong Women book program that was presented by Calvin Mogajane and also Maro Productions, and also the people who managed to subscribe on the YouTube channel gore ba bogele this whole thing. I don't know if go na le any women o lo ronya go ntlogela ka words of encouragement. I will start on my left hand side.
Calvin, ke rata gore ke re keep on doing that. O dira mosebetsi o montle thata.
Making me cry.
O dira mosebetsi o montle thata e leng gore lefatshe setšhaba se sotlhe ba tla bona gore what you are doing, and go lwela di-rights tsa basadi ga go bonolo at this time, mare seo se dirang, keep on doing that, my brother. Keep on doing that.
Being part of this, I think it's inspiring, and I think kind of, you know, for what I book around the area, Strong Woman, I wish for a breakthrough ya for end gender-based violence, and then can carry to Horaba, Baba the book, especially this one. And again, people know for gender-based violence, somehow feel like a justice system. But let us keep on fighting for what is right for us. And people should know for gender-based violence, especially rape, high justification. Because they like justifying it for all. I'm a rebel because I'm to Enya, and then there's no way you can justify my situation by that time. Keep also having any kids to deserve that. And if God can take you from January to December, meaning He can also take you from pain to peace. So let us all continue to fight what is right for us, irrespective that the government doesn't see that. But at the end of the day, if we work collectively as the fearful woman and fearful man, remember, not all men are trash. We're going to win the battle at the end of the day.
We're not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying polygamy is wrong. I still honor women by Lord Basa survive polygamy. I still honor all men by Lord Baka polygamy, and they maintain it very well.
Yes.
And we know they try by all means to show us what they are the real men. Not all women by Lord Basa polygamy. And then thank you so much for him. I believe they will find it all. What are we talking about here? They know their friends by the deal, especially. We're not saying lebana ba abuse. Gona lebana ba go lor ba betwa. Gona lebana ba lor ba tshela thuba ba fiwa maqa ntate. But this is the time to come out go bolela gore gape this is what's going on. This is what's going on so that you can get help. Truly women emotionally they are weak, but it is just something say lor sika gare ga philosophy or scientifically so ga ba tse bor wena as monna di go tswara byang dilo tse di byang wa ntswara ke nako gore change our mindset. Remember they say great minds think alike. So this is the time to change our mind. I'm turning to my right.
As you know, Calvin, that I'm a woman of a lot of wits. So I'll just try to summarize. I have a lot of things, and first of all, this program made me really grow and give me lady now like it's hard to what I've been doing. Like business, I'm into chicken and also planning to. I have an NPO register, but then I felt because I lacked in information and knowledge back then. I was still young, so now I'm growing. I actually named it Home of Peace because of Kenya Kotlisa peace into the world, and the business is actually named Hope for Life. I'm bringing hope to people. So the NPO I will be focused on a lot of things, but specifically the thing grow is focusing on youth specifically.
Okay.
Yeah, and so again, I grew up believing women are weak. But to tell you the truth, we might be soft, but we are very strong. The things that we are enduring in our daily lives, they are more than enough. They are more than too much for men. Some men cannot even tolerate what we are tolerating as women. So, yeah, every young woman out there, you are very strong. So believe in yourself.
My Mari,
You know, there's a English saying, we rise by lifting others. And now I just want to thank you. In fact, I'm grateful to God for I met you. Living through the person that we met through, we're still in contact. I'm grateful for such an opportunity, really. You know, about Kelvin, I would actually encourage you, do these talks often, not only a Women's Month, and maybe if we can get to a point where we do sessions where you do gender-based talks, that even debate, maybe then we can try to find out the source. Another thing that challenges me, we've got men by their marriages are not working right now because they were told on Mosadi doesn't even know how to go through that man, and Bana the believer marriage counselor, Murudi, social worker, social worker. But then you find that background there monna o abu Kelvin, ke yona mo disepang gore a khono rata mosadi o or a khono budisa bana. Not that there's anything wrong or he's been bewitched, just that the system come correctly cultural, the background culturally so I'm saying to you, you're doing a good job. Big ups to you, and may God give you more strength, and at least the other men on board. I think we can be able to go back to ko matsatsing a khale ka mokgwa ba rena ba godileng ka teng, but then re modernize modernize, re khone phidisana hore
upgrade,
you get what I mean, you get what I mean, re sanitize hanya, but we can live in a normal society or re ka phela pila ka ntle le divorce. Now divorce rate ile go godimo, anxiety and depression. It's the new.
Our second scheme.
You know what? Yes. It's a new way of living. And we're normalizing it, and it's very wrong. We stay in those relationships, are related with our partners as long as good morning, how are you? We don't even take over our mental state, and it's very important. Mental state, and as an individual, are you happy where you are now? So now I would say to you, you're doing a great job. Continue to do what you're doing. May God richly bless you. I will all the territories, everything that you wanna do may be perfected. And I'm so honored for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my dear. Now this is the time to wrap up this show. We had a very great show. We had a very great Strong Women program, and it was presented by our women, Macy Kent Mtaun, and also Maria Macheke. We thank you so much. We thank you everyone who were involved in this program. We thank you to Maro Productions, who managed to document this a book, Strong Women. Our editor, Bongani Kumalo. We thank you so much. Me as an author, our panelists, by Lord, they've passed through this panel session. Mr. George or Dr. George Senosha, and also Mr. Ephraim Mukou, also also Mr. George Makita, who were all our panelists for this show. We thank you so much. We're rolling now. We're closing this tour. We're now going to open another platforms whereby we're going to present different books. Remember, you're gonna meet this program every year on August. But as an author at Maro Productions, I'm willing to change. How did we do things this year? So we're going to start to rehearse the book Strong Women around January. We're going to rehearse the script for Strong Women. We want people to know, remember, we didn't give you a full book, but we gave you only the synopsis of different chapters. And I believe that if you go through the book and read thoroughly and use your mind to read, focus with your second skin, you will understand what the book implies to us. And I believe one day the South African government will change how they operate the rights of women and also the rights of men. We're not saying all the men are trash. Remember, all women, they have their own scandals, still already to their men or to their husband. But this is the time whereby we need to support each other. If it's about Monna, he's doing those things to change the mindset. Don't not do not be afraid to lose your friend, as long as you be honest. Remember, we say strong women. The question is, where do you get your strength? You love even when love means pain. Oh, the mother of my being. You provide the garden of hope, trust, and the richness of emotions and ecstasy. You don't shine more than stars. No, what's within you is star-made, but you are far precious more than stars. Remember, I say no. I say no, you are worth more than my life. Shape the world with your own love. And live the way, and we shall get guidance under the shoulders of warm blessing of your love. True, you are the true meaning of sacrifice. Strong woman. I, Calvin Mogajane, closing this wonderful tour. I'm done.